Everton returned to the side after last weekend's cup tie, and Oxford also recalled Paul Gilchrist. They gave a debut to Canadian centre-half Mark Watson. City, looking to end a run of 7 successive away defeats, made 2 defensive changes. Jim Brennan returned to the right-back slot, and Christian Edwards, playing his last game on loan from Nottingham Forest, replaced the injured Lewis Carey in central defence. This report by Richard Latham.
City coach Benny Lennartson summed up the importance of this match by saying we didn't even think about defeat. So he must have been worried early on as keeper Steve Phillips stood between Oxford and the opening goal. It was all hands to the pump in the first few minutes as Oxford laid siege to City's penalty area. Next to try his luck was Paul Powell, who beat Phillips but not Mickey Bell. The home side piled men forward but lacked the killer punch. Les Robinson's shot was way off target. With less than 10 minutes played, Joey Beecham had yet another opportunity to put Oxford ahead. City survived the mauling and began to fight back. Bell loves to shoot from distance, and this effort had Paul Gerrard at full stretch. Still, Phillips was the busier keeper, and he did well again to deny Dean Windass. City's main threat on the day came from Steve Torpey, who might have had a hat-trick to add to his 2 FA Cup goals against Everton. Soren Anderson provided the ammunition from the left flank, and the big striker met his cross with a classic header. Gerrard to Oxford's rescue. But Torpey will feel he should have done better minutes later, as another chance came his way. Either side of the keeper, and City must have taken the lead. Oxford also posed a threat at corners with Phillips under severe pressure. This time Scott Murray was well placed to clear. A rare error by Bell then gave Windass a great opening, but he was off target and the game remained goalless at half-time. The second half contained far less goalmouth action, but Akinbaye's header brought Gerrard into action. The best chance of the game fell to Windass as Christian Edwards missed his header and the striker had a golden opportunity to grab all 3 points. Bell has scored from this position before. This time his shot carried just too much weight. It was City who almost grabbed a crucial win in the closing stages. Again Anderson did well, and a miscued clearance set up first Akinbaye and then Torpey. Phil Gilchrist was the Oxford hero. Finally, it was Ivan Tistimitanu trying his luck from distance as City settled for a hard-earned point.
Bristol City have yet to keep consecutive clean sheets this season, but a shutout here would put that record straight. Striker Adi Akinbaye is suspended, so Tony Thorpe returns for only his 9th start in the league. Adam Locke's also been recalled, though the likes of international defender Vilmos Zabok and Brian Tinian have to settle for places on the bench. No top scorer Akinbaye leaves Mickey Bell as City's only ever present in the league, and in 27 appearances so far he's notched 5 goals, 4 of them from the penalty spot. Tranmere are the away draw specialists of Division 1. Of 13 games played away from Prenton Park, 7 have finished in a point apiece for the teams. George Santos, who scored in last week's home defeat by Wolves, is another who's banned. His place has gone to 20-year-old Clint Hill. Kenny Irons is their top scorer with 13 from midfield. Well, 6 points and 7 places separate these two at kick-off. It's tight at the foot of the table. City in particular won't want to slip up against fellow strugglers. Today's referee is from the Midlands. He's Warsall's Mark Warren. Tranmere haven't brought too many fans with them, but they'll be to give them something to shout about. Long throw hurled into the box. Torpey's rather missed it. City are at full stretch to clear. Back in by Marn. Parkinson on the turn. Torpey getting through some excellent defensive work for Bristol City. Surprisingly under pressure inside their own penalty area with only a minute or so played. Well, maybe it's too many cooks. Real chance for Graham Allen. Although City had numbers back, they hadn't quite got the marking correct. Irons left it, and it's into the corner. What a good decision. It's Mann who's got the goal. Tranmere lead. And you have to say that it's been coming. Only 7 minutes played, but it's been all Tranmere so far. And it looked like skipper Kenny Irons was going to pull the trigger there, but he left it. And the job was completed by Alan Mann. Super strike low into the corner. Rovers lead by 1-0. Thought wanting too much time on the ball. It's fallen kindly though for Shale. That's a cross to Torpey. Always a threat in the air, Steve Torpey. Brennan takes it short to Locke, trying to catch Tranmere unawares. In towards Torpey. Coyne forced into action for the first time in the match. A yard or so either side of the keeper would have extended him even more. Shales forward from the back as Bell takes the kick. The captain gets his head on it. Torpey too scrapping for it. Now it's Murray. Forced infield. Low cross, only as far as Locke. Adam Locke makes it 1-1. His first of the season, and devastatingly dispatched into the net. Tranmere failing to clear the danger, and Locke, the defender turned midfielder, with a striker's finish. City back in the game. Touch on by Anderson. Torpey is onside. Thorpe's making strides in the middle. Torpey goes alone. Only just wide of the mark. He reckons the keeper got a touch. Locke's touch was too heavy. This is Mann for Tranmere. Still going. Phillips with everything behind the shot. You wouldn't expect him to be beaten from that kind of range with a clear view of the striker. Mann now for Tranmere. They're finishing the half as they began it on top. But he couldn't finish it as he began it with a goal. Matanu trying his luck from distance. Soren Anderson leading the counter. Locke to Murray. They've stayed onside, but they haven't capitalised. Now, the referee, who hasn't been the most popular man around Ashton Gate so far this season, seems to be suffering from an injury, and he's getting very little sympathy as he limps off for some treatment, but I think Mr. Warren is indicating that he cannot continue. Touch on by Torpey, and a good one too from Thorpe. This is Adam Locke. Again, Coyne called into action. Again, Adam Locke, the driving force from midfield for Bristol City. Torpey away from his man. Thorpe in support. Tony Thorpe for Bristol City. Weak shot. Testamitanu's pass never found its destination. It's a good-looking ball, swept across to Jones. First time cross, Taylor's header. It's off the woodwork. How unlucky can you get? Hutchings in a hurry to get things moving. Stopped dead in his tracks in the end by the challenge. And Thompson could be in a spot of bother here. He's already been booked. It's a second yellow and a red card for Tranmere's Andy Thompson. Could perhaps consider himself a little unfortunate. It's the last chance saloon now for Bristol City. Testimitano.
Field alongside the former Manchester United winger Ben Thornley, back after 3 months on the injured list. West Country Old Boys Wayne Allison and Marcus Stewart shared the attack. City made 3 changes. Rob Edwards returned to midfield after recovering from a hamstring injury. Bryan moved up from the substitutes bench, and Adi Akinbaye returned after serving a 1-match suspension. This report by Richard Latham.
First, the good news. City are unbeaten in their last 4 league games following a battling performance at the McAlpine Stadium. Not so good is the fact that they're back in the relegation zone and still vulnerable in the opening minutes. David Phillips making the most of yards of space to net a screamer. City goalkeeper Steve Phillips wasn't happy, and the replay shows why. No one attempts to close down Phillips, who has a reputation for long-range strikes. Not for the first time this season, City had been caught cold. The first threat to the Huddersfield goal was a tame effort from Brian Tinian. City's next attack proved more profitable, as Adam Locke got forward to force a corner. Mickey Bell swapped flanks to take the kick, and Adi Akinbaye did the rest with a bullet header. The 15th goal of the season for City's ace marksman, and didn't he enjoy it? Celebration time too for the club's loyal travelling fans. It was a model set piece, with Bell flighting the ball perfectly for Akinbaye's surging run. The game threatened to boil over when tempers flared following this challenge by Mark Shale on his old teammate Wayne Allison. It was clearly a bookable offence, but referee Graham Franklin needed eyes in the back of his head. Across the pitch, City coach Terry Connor had rushed to intervene as Akinbaye and Steve Jenkins had a difference of opinion. Soon Huddersfield boss Peter Jackson and the 2 assistant referees thought they might as well join Connor in centre stage. It all ended with bookings for the 2 players and lectures for the managers and peacemaker Connor. Could you say that again in Swedish, please? Back to the action and some vintage Marcus Stewart, which will bring back happy memories for Bristol Rovers fans. First, the Huddersfield striker makes space for a cross, and when the ball comes back to him, brilliant control and a stunning shot on the turn bring the best out of Steve Phillips. Huddersfield should have gone in at the break ahead, but midfielder Chris Beach made an awful hash of a great chance. The second half saw City pressing to take the lead, and Locke showing his relish for the new midfield duties bestowed on him by Benny Lennartson. This was a warning Huddersfield failed to heed. But it was the home side who went back in front, with Allison and Stewart again to the fore. Allison's header caused problems, and Lewis Carey's attempted clearance fell perfectly for Grant Johnson. Allison's knockdown created the danger, and Phillips had no chance with a fine finish. With their fans contemplating another bleak away day, City fought back again. Rob Edwards with the cross, and eventually it was Locke again, turning up in just the right place. A second goal in successive games for the converted fullback. How precious those strikes may prove in the fight for First Division survival.
Manager Dennis Smith made 3 changes, bringing in Van Blurk, Bortolazzi and Raven. In attack, he had the league's top scorer, Lee Hughes. Benny Lennartson's City side is beginning to have a familiar look about it, but there was one change. 19-year-old Aaron Brown played in midfield in place of Scott Murray. We joined commentator David Smith early in the first half.
Locke looking for Akinbaye. Murphy read the situation well, but Akinbaye might be behind the defence here if he can work out where the ball is. And it's a great opening here for Torpy. Oh, how unlucky, but Akinbaye can get the follow-up. Magnificent save by Whitehead. How on earth did West Brom survive that? Well, two great chances. Torpy came oh so close. The ball ricocheting into the path of Akinbaye, and Whitehead still managed to manufacture the save. Murphy has got his hands full here with Akinbaye, who's broken through. Now he needs to finish it. That's calm play, but somehow or other Murphy got back. Well, West Brom again all over the place in defence. It's a huge following for Bristol City today. In fact, they're still streaming into the ground. Holmes. Intercepted by Carey, and that's Locke in bravely. And again spinning the play to Testimatano on the right side, who goes straight for goal. That was fine score by the Moldovan. Direct approach again, and Hughes has got the pace to get there. Hughes! Inches over the bar. Not far away from his 29th of the season. Akinbaye. Thumb drill wanders again for Bristol City, and here's Torpy in a great position. Handling from Whitehead, not that secure. So it's another corner. Here's the latest. Again, it's curled in wickedly. Whitehead punched it away. Sneakers can break. Just one man up, but that man happens to be Lee Hughes. Two defenders to beat. Hughes waiting for support. Perhaps he doesn't need it after all. Here's Hughes again, and again, and now Sneakers! Here's Gorban. Hughes is in, and he scored! It was such a simple goal. Coming after 32 minutes, it's his 29th goal of the season. Gorban whipping in the cross. Hughes got away from his defender and found the corner of the net. Legs on to Torpy. Here's Brown riding the challenges, and he really should have equalised. What a way to perhaps celebrate your second appearance in the first team. Sebok, the Hungarian, has come forward and is favourite to get there, and that's an acrobatic save by the West Brom keeper. With the extra support now of Anderson as well as Akinbaye in Torpy. Brown's header forward comes to Akinbaye, and there's the equaliser. 15 minutes into the second half, and at last Bristol City on level terms, and they've had so many chances. Akinbaye, when this chance came, buried it. Carey drives it forward. Into the path of Akinbaye. Locke is there. Anderson. It's actually Torpy, and now Locke. Locke again. The defence all over the shop as Tinian gets it in again. Torpy tries to aim. Now Akinbaye. On his hands and knees. Different expression to the one he had a few minutes ago when he scored. Now Anderson. Lost out here, Anderson. Now Snakers. De Freitas. Snakers might be in. Here's Hughes. Snakers is there. Oh, and Bristol City have managed to defy West Brom. And surely the West Brom players are saying that was handball. But Brennan, if he did handball it, got away with it. Brown using his pace. Oh, that's brilliant. And it deserved to be a goal. Now Torpy with a follow-up. How did he miss? Brown carving his way through. It's the second time he's done that in this game. Has the heartbreak of seeing the ball coming off the post, and Torpy, don't know what he was thinking of. Bristol City have looked much better than a team that are struggling in the relegation area. Both teams have played good football and created chances, and here's another, and Akinbaye might well have scored the winner there with his second of the game, coming just 6 minutes before the end. And again, the West Bromwich Albion defence totally exposed. Akinbaye just needed to get a touch on the ball to divert it past Whitehead. He'll come out to the wing. Quinn lays it back. They've got to get the crossing quickly. Oh, it goes all the way through. Now Kilban tries to cut it back. Murphy's there. Now Hughes. And it's the equaliser. In the 7th minute of stoppage time, Lee Hughes with goal number 30 rescues a point for West Bromwich Albion, which really didn't seem likely.
Threatened clubs. City chairman Scott Davidson even called the players together 24 hours before kick-off to give them a personal pep talk. To see if it worked, let's join match commentator Phil Duffel.
We need a small miracle now, says the City coach. From my vantage point, I'd say make that a large one. Defeat by fellow strugglers Port Vale would surely open the trapdoor to Division 2. Even with victory, City would stay anchored to the foot of the table. Today there's a home debut for keeper Bo Anderson and a first start in City colours for loan signing David Howells. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Captain Colossus Sean Taylor returns to first-team action after more than a year on the sidelines, and how they've missed his considerable influence. Port Vale fans mark the departure of long-serving manager John Rudge with a wake, and they could soon be mourning the loss of their First Division status too. 43 goals conceded away from home at an average of 2.25 per game, symptomatic of a team in trouble. Of 5 deadline day acquisitions, Brammer, Butler, Griffiths and Widrington start the game. The 5th, ex-Swindon player Alex Smith, is on the bench. Bristol City then in red shirts get the game underway. You get the feeling it's win or bust at Ashton Gate today, with both clubs perilously placed. The message has to be, don't look down. And today's referee from Orpington in Kent is Mr. Steve Bennett. Taylor again wins it, finds Tinian, forward for Akinbaye. Real pace about Bristol City. Brown now, needs a good cross, gets one. Torpy's in there, the keeper's lost it. It's hacked clear in the end by Barnett. There was no referee's whistle, and if Bristol City could have forced it in, they'd be in front. Real let-off for Port Vale and goalkeeper Musselwhite. They're not off the hook just yet. Akinbaye once more, blocked by Barnett. Won back by David Howells, and tenaciously so. And Bristol City showing plenty of spirit this afternoon. Come through now for Adam Locke. What a save. Really strong hand on the ball by the goalkeeper. Not only did he keep Adam Locke's shot out, he made sure he pushed it away from any oncoming predator. The likes of Akinbaye were just hoping for scraps there. A really good save though by Musselwhite. Oh, he's in trouble, Anderson. Griffiths wanted the penalty. On your feet, says the referee. Port Vale bench beneath us angry. It was heart in the mouth time for just a second there for Bristol City. Forward towards Martin Foyle, neatly taken down on the chest. He does know all the tricks of the trade, does the veteran Port Vale front man. He'll be looking to get on the end of this cross. Foyle is there. Good stop by Anderson, whose positioning was spot on. A warning for Bristol City that you cannot give Martin Foyle time and space in and around the penalty area. Akinbaye invites Tinian to join in. Akinbaye for the return, and again 1-0 Bristol City. Top scorer Adi Akinbaye gets the vital breakthrough. Desperately bad luck on Paul Musselwhite, who was exposed. He made a good save initially at point-blank range, but as he palmed it out, Akinbaye gobbled up the rebound. His 19th goal of the season, and perhaps the most valuable so far for Bristol City. Brown looks to be lining up a long throw. Off Aspin. Howells, what a goal! David Howells, an inspired loan signing, scores a tremendous goal for Bristol City. It went like an arrow into the top corner, nothing that Musselwhite could do, and 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes have put Bristol City in command of this vital relegation battle. Martin Foyle, the danger man for Vale. Griffiths with a header. It's a bad miss, and I think he knows it. Akinbaye showing well. Howells, just playing the simple ball, David Howells. He may not be 100% fit, but he's certainly doing well for City. So too Brennan. Musselwhite beat it away. I don't know whether it was meant as a cross or a shot, but certainly brought the Vale keeper into action. Torpy, Carey. Around Smith. Still Lewis Carey. Seems a bit of width. Not hoping to supply it. Carey once more. Well, Musselwhite took emergency action in the end, but it was almost in slow motion. Tankard towards Lee. Anderson didn't get there. Chance for Talbot off the crossbar, brilliantly away by Brennan. Bristol City living dangerously. Smith returns it. Foyle's in there, behind for a goal kick. Well, Bo Anderson less than convincing as he came to that cross. And Talbot hit the shot sweetly enough. It hammered against the crossbar, and the young fullback Brennan did a great job to get it away for City. Talbot to Foyle as Port Vale continue to strain. All nicely done. Foyle's in. Good save by Anderson. City were napping as Smith's little flick pass put the veteran striker in on goal. And Bo Anderson, in action almost for the first time, stood his ground and made the save. Bent finds Talbot. Aspin on the overlap. Port Vale committed to throwing more and more men forward now, and they may leave gaps at the other end. Talbot working hard though. Lee's in behind Brennan. Oh, it's a superb bit of defending by Carey on the far side. How he got that away without putting it into his own net, I'll never know. Akinbaye now. Third goal really would settle it. Maybe Goodridge, the man to supply just that. Here he goes. Greg Goodridge, Musselwhite with a save. And with a bit of luck too. Well, maybe he deserved it. The rebound went against him for Akinbaye's opening goal. That time it favoured the goalkeeper. This is Foyle on the far side. For Lee, against the woodwork. Well, twice now in the second half, Port Vale have been within inches of at least getting 1 goal back. It's only Bristol City's 6th win of the season, their first in 1999. Perhaps there's hope for Benny Lennartson and his team after all.
Bristol City against Grimsby Town. A match won last season by City by 4 goals to 1. And they could certainly do with a repeat of that scoreline this afternoon. Let's join our commentator, Phil Duffel.
It's exactly a year since Bristol City last won 3 matches in a row. And after a profitable Easter weekend, they could complete another hat-trick today. The chairman's delivered his latest Mr. Motivator pep talk. And with the other relegation rivals playing each other, City know they could make a significant move today. The home side are unchanged, but their settled side is under threat as Adi Akinbaye and Steve Torpey are both 1 booking away from suspension. Adam Locks emerged as an unlikely hero for City this year. Stepping from defence into midfield, he's weighed in with some vital goals, including the winner at Portsmouth on Monday. Promoted with Bristol City via the playoffs, Grimsby settled quickly in Division 1, and just a couple of months ago they were pushing for a place in the top 6. But they've come unstuck lately, winning just 1 of their last half-dozen games, and worth pointing out, they've only scored 14 goals away from home all season. 2 team changes see returns for Wayne Burnett and Kingsley Black. It's Grimsby then in black and white stripes who get the game underway. And that means they should avoid the fate they suffered last season when they conceded a goal after only 16 seconds. Sure, City would settle for a slightly slower start as long as they get the same result with 3 points for a home win. Out of play on the far side, throw for Bristol City. And today's referee, Scott Mathison, who's from Stockport. Groves, the Grimsby captain, with a cushioned header. That's nicely worked. Chance for the shot. What a strike! Sensational goal. Lee Ashcroft gives Grimsby the lead. Well, it's their first significant attack of the game, but what a result. A rapier-like shot, and it was always bound for the top corner. Well, it was a goal out of nothing, really. But it's rocked Ashton Gate to its foundations. Can the home side get an instant reply? Akinbaye certainly forced the save. Flicked on there by Caldecott, and now it's Howells for the home side. They'll be relying on their experienced players, people like Taylor, Howells, Tinian now. And it's one of the youngsters, Brennan, breaking forward. Torpey! 1-1. Steve Torpey finishes the job, started so well by Jim Brennan down the left-hand side. A really quality goal, and it was all down to the service. Beautifully delivered into Torpey's path. And no doubt that that was going to hit the back of the net. Taylor launches one forward. Again, Torpey is underneath it, but Lever held him at bay. Although at the expense of a throw into Bristol City. They really do look as though they've got the bit between their teeth now. Just for a moment, Grimsby have been knocked out of their confident stride. Torpey's nearly in again. Great defensive work. It was Lever who somehow hooked it away from inside his own 6-yard box, and at some personal cost. This is Caldecott over on the far side. Again, Taylor just steps forward to win it for Bristol City, but Brown caught in possession. Oh, that's a real let-off. Ashcroft holds his head. He knows he should have got his second and Grimsby's second after a glaring error by Aaron Brown. Tinian, Locke nearly got there. Torpey may do. Oh dear, oh dear. A real scramble inside the 6-yard box, and somehow Steve Torpey failed to convert as he had done so earlier. Torpey, he's leading by example at the moment. Here he goes again. Akinbaye! Oh, dear, oh dear. Well, there's a few chances gone begging already. Question remains, how costly will they be? Torpy, having missed himself from close range, was provider that time, and Akinbaye unable to turn it home. Brennan's been a revelation so far. Torpy's there, Lock. Still the chance is there for Bristol City. And finally, Grimsby are content to just concede the corner. It's beginning to resemble the Alamo in and around that Grimsby penalty area. It's a clever pass by Tinian and a very crude challenge by Paul Groves. The referee's done well so far. He hasn't been waving cards around extravagantly and decided to take no further action there other than to award the free kick. Ken Zebok has made his way forward to the far post area. That's Akinbaye, and that's 2-1. And Bristol City's top scorer has hit the 20 mark. Well, as simple a goal as you'll see. The ball just flipped up, and Akinbaye's header buried into the far corner of the net. Seized upon by Brown. Akinbaye. And it's teed up for Tinian! 3-1! Brian Tinian's first goal of the season, and what a time to choose! Unselfish play from Adi Akinbaye to set him up, and an unerring left foot drive finds its way to the back of the net. Held up by Ashcroft, on by Black. This is Caldecott, opening up perhaps for Grimsby. Stacey Caldecott. Well, he did everything right, except find the net. Brennan ushering it forward. Oh, and it's presented to Akinbaye, and it's 4-1. You simply cannot make mistakes like that with this man around. Served up on a plate for Akinbaye and devoured by the striker. And that surely is that. 3 more points are on their way to Bristol City. Breaks kindly for Akinbaye. Fed once more by David Howells. Served up now for Aaron Brown to try. That was a good take. I'm sure Alan Buckley will be less than thrilled when he reviews the details on the video. And now it's Greg Goodridge. 2 step overs. Goodridge! Oh! Well, it would have been absolutely brilliant. As it was only pretty good. Certainly there was no way the goalkeeper would have got near it.
This time 5 years ago, this man was plotting Sweden's assault on the World Cup finals. He did a good job. Sweden finished 3rd in the USA.
Henrik Larsson, oh, he must finish it now.
Behind the scenes, the stock of the nation's tactical director had never been higher. Fast forward to 1999. Life's very different for Benny Lennartson. His Bristol City side entered the weekend bottom of Division 1. If things don't improve, his first crack at English football will be his last.
I've had success for 20 years, and I think I've never been under pressure in the way I've been here before, and it is an interesting experience.
And it's 6!
I've always been interested to work in different countries, and England is the 5th fifth country of my career, and instead of taking a bigger club, I wanted to take a club where I can start more or less from zero. And I could see the potential here, and I still can do it, and I think it's a very interesting job.
So much so, the previous manager had no intention of sharing it. Last season, John Ward won the fans' hearts, leading City to promotion. But at the new level, his side won only 2 of their first 16 league matches. In October, City decided a director of football would bring fresh ideas. But when Ward heard who it was, he walked out. And so Lennartsen, former coach of the year in Norway and Denmark, was left to go it alone. He started his new life about as popular at Ashton Gate as the average Bristol Rovers fan.
I think whoever came into that scenario would have had to have won the next 10 games to have won everyone over, including the press. I think that, coupled with him coming from Europe, hasn't helped. And clearly the pressure's been on right from the start. There's been a lot of demands placed on him. If we had more points on the board, I think everyone would have been saying, well, in 3 years we've gone from bottom of the second division, which is where we were, we shouldn't forget that, into the first division. There's a very good quality senior squad, and not only that, the under 21, 19 and 17 sides are doing very, very well.
Davidson insists injuries and suspensions are more responsible for City's position than the appointment of a foreign coach. Fans have been relatively patient. Average attendance is almost 13,000. But as time ticks away, criticism increases.
Here in the radio and in the press, they are writing letters, and it's more or less the same every time. So you have to take it for what it is. But when it's fair criticism, they have the right to express it, and I'm listening to it. It has been easy for me to look at the way we have improved and say it, but it looks like the press here in Bristol doesn't want to see it that way.
I don't agree with that at all. I think he's had a very non-critical deal. He's won 2 games out of 22, which is the worst record we can recall of any manager ever at Bristol City starting off. We think there are reasons for that, and that's why there hasn't been a lot of criticism. He's got this thing about he's a foreigner coming in and we've treated him differently to anybody else. That's totally untrue. A Bristolian with a record of 2 wins from 22 games would have got criticism from the press. And if he'd been in the North East, he would have got plenty more criticism than he gets out of Bristol.
In any case, form over Easter's eased the immediate pressure. With Port Vale and Portsmouth beaten, suddenly thoughts of survival. Sean Taylor's return from long-term injury has inspired the side. The captain refuses to blame the director of coaching for City's struggle, though he does admit his unfamiliar methods took some getting used to.
I think so. I mean, he mentioned himself. I mean, he's a foreign coach, and the way we've been used to English coaches, and then he comes in and it's different kind of training, maybe a bit longer or more thorough and all things like that. And it does take time. I mean, the players have got to look at themselves and say, you can do it for yourself, and then if you help other people around you, then so be it, and then we can get out of this situation we're in.
I'm in this because I love football, and in my book we have done very well. It has been frustrating when we have played maximum of what we can, and people around that doesn't see that way. They want the results, but as a coach you need to see, have I got the maximum out of the team at my disposal. That's why I'm confident of my own ability and about the team as well, because now we have a bit more quality.
Lennartsen enjoyed the rare luxury of fielding an unchanged team against injury-hit Grimsby. Victory would lift City off the bottom. With closest rivals Bury at Oxford and Crewe playing Port Vale, the fans needed a cracker to keep their full attention. And for once, they weren't disappointed. The commentator is Phil Duffel.
Groves, the Grimsby captain, with a cushioned header. That's nicely worked. Chance for the shot. What a strike! Sensational goal. Lee Ashcroft gives Grimsby the lead. Now it's Howells for the home side. They'll be relying on their experienced players, people like Taylor, Howells, Tinian now. There's one of the youngsters, Brennan, breaking forward. Torpy! 1-1. Locke nearly got there. Torpy may do. Oh dear, oh dear. Torpy, he's leading by example at the moment. Here he goes again. Akinbaye. Oh dear, oh dear. Again, Zebok has made his way forward to the far post area. That's Akinbaye. That's 2-1. And Bristol City's top scorer has hit the 20 mark. Seized upon by Brown, Akinbaye, and it's teed up for Tinian! 3-1, Brian Tinian's first goal of the season, and what a time to choose! Brennan ushering it forward, and it's presented to Akinbaye, and it's 4-1.
An ovation at the end. Just the result Benny wanted. It's tradition to throw his cap into the crowd after victory, and that's 3 he's got through in a week.
I'm feeling happy, that's for sure, but I know that we have a lot of hard work in front of us, but we have proved to everybody that we are a better team than our position.
We're hoping to continue their last-ditch fight to avoid relegation. 3 successive wins over Easter gave them an unexpected chance to hang on to First Division football. Our commentator at Edgeley Park is Phil Duffel.
Stockport have turned Edgeley Park into a bit of a fortress of late. They're unbeaten here in 6 matches, and only Swindon have scored against them in that time. Boss Gary Megson names an unchanged side, which means Jim Gannon makes his 350th league appearance for the club. Up front, the main danger is 18-goal Brett Angel. No Adi Akinbaye for Bristol City, so Soren Andersen gets a rare starting role. The Danish international has 11 goals to his name so far. It's City's second trip to Greater Manchester in the space of 5 days. The midweek defeat at nearby Bolton means they can ill afford to leave Stockport empty-handed. And while their top scorer is missing, the good news is that David Howells and Lewis Carey have both passed late fitness tests. It's Stockport County then in blue and white who get the game underway. The incentive for City is they know that a win could take them out of the bottom 3. And our referee is Mr. Brian Coddington, who comes from Sheffield. Locke. Plenty of room this side for Tinian. Brennan's gone outside him. It's with the fullback, faced by Matthews. Tinian who curls it in. Oh, Locke just unable to take it in his stride. Stockport may break. Matthews at full tilt, keeps it in play. Can't skip past the challenge of Tinian though. City are a bit asleep as it's played short. And the header in and away by Steve Torpy of all people. Well, that's as good as a goal from a striker. He's back there defending, and at the last ditch he snaked out a leg to somehow divert it over his own crossbar. Angel. Cooper. Support provided by Dinning. Oh, it's found Angel, and now Smith with a great chance. Well done, Bo Anderson. And a shocking follow-up shot by Matthews. Matthews will keep the ball in play. It's opening up for Stockport. It's 1-0, and it's Tony Ellis. And finally, the weight of chances has paid dividends for the home team. And you have to say the goal's been coming. Quick break down the right-hand side, ball in low to the near post, and Tony Ellis with his 4th goal since joining Stockport County. Anderson hoping to trick his way through. Gannon manages to get it away. Retrieved though by Brown. Now it's Brennan on the burst. 1-1. Jim Brennan scores for Bristol City, and they're right back in it. Within a minute of going behind, City respond in perfect style. It was all the fullback's own work, and boy did he finish it well. Tinian towards Torpy now, well claimed by Carlo Nash. There's a good ebb and flow about the game. Real end-to-end stuff. Ellis is onside, could get his second. Tony Ellis hits it wide. And he's rather annoyed with himself. Forward for Soren Anderson to chase. Has Tinian in support. Didn't quite manage to work it between them. Important header away there by Brennan. Gannon finds Angel in space. Good challenge, but the rebound is lashed home. And Stockport lead by 2-1, and Tony Ellis has got them both. It looked as though it was going to open up for Brett Angel. Carey's challenge stopped him, but Ellis, with the follow-up, simply wouldn't be denied. McIntosh has headed that straight to Adam Locke. This is Tinian, curled in towards Steve Torpy. Anderson didn't read the knockdown. Around about 15 minutes remaining. Bristol City desperately need a second equaliser. Brennan, who got the first, finds Aaron Brown. It breaks for Torpy, trying to set up the shot, and the goal from Brian Tinian. Well, no goals all season, and then 2 in the space of a week. It's 2-2, and it's back in the melting pot, and Brian Tinian fires a left-foot cracker to bring Bristol City right back into it. Ellis, Woodthorpe, wonderful stop, and how important could that be? Bo Anderson at full stretch away to his right-hand side, somehow clawed it behind for the corner. Colin Cram gathering pace, finds Tinian. Aim towards Steve Torpy, now Goodridge. Well, it was a good chance, and unfortunately for Bristol City, it was not a good attempt.
It's all over. It's a point for Bristol City, and what a precious one it could turn out to be. The final score at Edgeley Park, Stockport County 2, Bristol City.
International Greg Goodridge, a rare first-team start. The commentator at Ashton Gate is Phil Duffel.
Doherty. Chance now for Goodridge. Can he deliver a telling cross? A little step over to make space. The shot's deflected. Corner for Bristol City, the first of the game. Good to see Greg Goodridge back in action. He really is a handful for any defence. That's Bell who's come across to take it. Pinamonte's waiting on the goal line, helped in by Doherty, and scrambled away almost from on his own goal line by Fugelstadt. It was an innocuous looking corner, but it created havoc in the Norwich defence. Goalkeeper Andy Marshall is grateful to his defenders for coming to the rescue. This is Llewellyn. Oh, Zebok's fallen over in the middle. It may come through. Well, Roberts didn't make it, Anderson didn't make it, nobody made it in the end. A let-off at both ends in quick succession. Zebok wins it back. Brown. Akinbaye has Goodridge available this side. He's turned away and gone the other instead, and he's going ever so well, all on his own. It's Adi Akinbaye, and Marshall denies him at the last. Brilliant solo run by Akinbaye, and you can see he really fancies a goal against his old teammates. Anselan. Norwich have players over near side. This is Fugelstadt. Finds Llewellyn. Mulrine's touch. Bellamy should have scored. That was a really good chance. Craig Bellamy perhaps just snatched at it, and leaning backwards, it was always going up over the top. This is Goodridge. That's a good cross. Akinbaye! Brilliant work by Marshall. All ends in smiles between the two main protagonists. There's a super cross by Goodridge. Akinbaye hit the target. Marshall shoved up a right arm to deflect the ball away. This may be a good time for City, Bristol City that is, just to get their noses in front. It's Bell to deliver the ball. It's a deep one. Akinbaye leaps, helped on and in by Lorenzo Pinamonte. A debut goal for the big number 10. And celebrations all around Ashton Gate. Norwich exposed again from a dead ball. Akinbaye's free header and a toe poke in for a moment that Lorenzo Pinamonte will never forget. Jordan wins the header. Picked up though by Llewellyn. Now Roberts. Bellamy has stayed onside. In the middle it's Llewellyn, and Anderson to the rescue again. I don't think the keeper knew too much about that. Instinctively flew off his line and just got some part of his body in the way of Chris Llewellyn's shot. Now this is Sean Carey, and it's come all the way through to Bellamy. Mulrine with a shot away by Jim Brennan. Great covering work because Carey was there as well. Llewellyn now on a positive run, and the Reds are parting. Bellamy to Mulrine. Anderson guarding his near post well. Again, the goalkeeper perfectly positioned to make the save, a pretty routine one in the end. Here goes Akinbaye. It's over Marshall, and it's inches wide. Really brave play by the striker. He took a whack in the face in the process, but he was only inches away from the goal he craves so much. Bellamy through the middle once more. Forced wide by Zebok. That was good defending. But Roberts is there. What a miss. Well might he hold his head in his hands, because that was frankly shocking from no more than 6 yards out.
Work to do.